Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I was actually like checking everywhere. Uh, have I posted the right thing? Sorry, not the wrong thing. Have I posted the right thing? Is the check-in working properly? So before we get started, anyone and everyone who was in the stream yesterday, I'm so sorry you were not able to check in. There was some timing issue. It was supposed to be 7 a.m. EST, instead it was 7 p.m. EST. But once we changed it, it was like now a past time, so no one could check in. But today's check-in should work fine. It should work properly. So if you want to check in, please do it. I will share the check-in link in the chat right now, and it's there. Perfect. So you can check into today's session here. Uh, we are going to continue working on the data. Okay, so I had kind of given you a homework where I had asked you, like, just get in more data. You got CSV for Hack for the Future. Could you get CSV for some other hackathons that had been conducted? I did my homework, I did my due diligence, and I got the data for AI hacks. So, woohoo for me. But hopefully, you also have some data. If you don't, that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do analysis on one data set first. So, only for Hack for the Future one. And then I'll combine the two data sets that I have, and then we'll do an analysis, and you'll get an idea after that, like, okay, how do I do analysis for 10 data sets, 10 CSV files that I download? It's pretty simple. It's okay. Other than that, uh, I'm still not feeling quite well today too. So what's going to happen is, if in between, I might just switch off my cam if I am having this coughing fit or something. Uh, and finally, I think today's session would be kind of shorter because Python has some really good libraries to do things for us, which basically means that it wouldn't be too much of going into and rebuilding things from scratch. It would be just using the libraries to do it for ourselves, for us. So yeah, I think it would be like pretty fun. It would be pretty quick, but towards the end of it, we'll do some brainstorming. We'll discuss like where you can uh, do some further analysis on the data, how you can expand the knowledge that you gained, how you can just use the superpower that you have now. Okay, so yeah, that is from me initially. Now let me just wait for 1 more minute exactly, and then we can get started. While we wait, if you are joining me today, like for the first time or something, sorry, I'm going to share the REPL link that we created yesterday together. So here it goes in the chat. Please have a look at it. So this is what we created yesterday. So this is more like how to get started to build the data set that we built. And when you open the link that I shared, uh, mostly if you were yesterday and you were following along, you would have the exact same code, no changes made, trust me. Other than that, what has happened yesterday, let me just give you a very quick recap. So we created this first to scrape underscore main, uh, and here we scraped this particular website where we had some codes. We then wrote it in a CSV file, and we created this very good, very awesome CSV, which we actually checked by uploading it to Google Sheets, and it just worked really well. It looked fine. Then we did the same process but on a different website, dev post, and we did it using a different library. So initially we had used the library Beautiful Soup and Requests and CSV. Okay, these three one. And for the next one, what we did was we used CSV, of course, but instead of using Requests and Beautiful Soup, we found a library which just merged everything for us, and that was requests underscore HTML, which allowed us to just build the project. Now, there were some really good suggestions yesterday in the chat of how we can improve this code. Definitely, there's scope of improvement. I am not denying it. And I would really suggest that you do it, and maybe you can send me a PR, a pull request. So, towards the end of today's session, yesterday I did not want to kind of to put it on GitHub because we had today's session too, but today, after the end of today's session, I'm going to put it on GitHub. I would uh, be happy. I would request, whatever you want to consider it, that open a PR, open a pull request, send in your code, how you have optimized it. Maybe send in more ideas of how you build upon this code, maybe how you did further analysis other than what we are going to do today. I think that would be great. It would be open source. People can come in, they can see what you have done, what I started, and maybe they can take it further. And it would be a good opportunity for you to contribute to a project. Okay, just let me know what you think about it. And with that, let me start today's session. So, howdy, howdy. Let me just rename. So, I found it the hard way yesterday that Replit only runs main.py. So I'm going to rename this. I'm going to say like this main was for dev post. Dev post data. Okay. So yeah, that was dev post data. Oops, I closed everything. Sorry. Uh, and that's done. We are going to create a new main.py today. So main.py, and in this we are going to, it basically copies everything from the previous file. So just delete everything. We don't need any of that today. All we need is our CSV files. So I scraped the data for AI hacks. We had scraped the data together for hack for the future. And just like yesterday, please read the terms and conditions of any website before scraping. uh, as far as I understood, from whatever little, like the minimalist knowledge I have about rules and laws, uh, it seemed like DevPost says that don't publish whatever you're scraping, okay, for your gain, but it was more for learning purpose, so I think it's okay. Can I just like half it or something? Yep. Okay, perfect. I like this interface. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to do some analysis, which basically means that we are going to import this data. Definitely, we are going to use the library pandas. If you have not heard of it, that's fine. We are going to learn it today. And then we are going to make some graphs, of course. Uh, and yeah, that's how we'll do the analysis. What are we targeting? We are targeting to see what are the popular tools that hackers use to build the project. So we are going to see what was popular in all the projects, like what was common tool or common language or common whatever in hack for the future. What was, then we are going to combine AI hacks and hack for the future data and then see what was common again. And you can, as I said, build on it. Okay, instead of using two data sets, use four, use eight, use 16, whatever. Okay, so let's get started. Initially, as I said, we are going to use something called as pandas. Okay, what is pandas? I told you yesterday the best way to learn about anything is Google it. This is what it is. It's a Python data analysis library. Okay, you can read more about it. You can see the get started, of course, and there's a cheat sheet. I didn't know that. Okay, so this is where it talks about pandas. It gives you a cheat sheet of how you can create something called as a data frame. Now, this is interesting. What is a data frame? So, think of a data frame as another uh, data structure, okay, in the very minimalistic part. Uh, you have arrays, you have lists in Python, okay, not arrays. You have dictionary, you have sets. Think of data frame as something similar to that, okay, a different way of storing the data. Pandas uses it, okay. So let's import pandas first. Now in Python, you can give a short form to any library that you're importing, just so that you save like 300 milliseconds or something while using it. So, and this is popular. Import pandas as PD. Excuse me. I think too much talking just triggers that cough. So again, I'm so sorry for that. Now we have imported pandas and we have given it a short form. Next step is to import our data and convert the data from a CSV file to a pandas data frame file. Now, the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to create a variable. You can call it anything. I am calling it hack for the future, or not future, sorry, future data frame, so that I know, okay, this is the data frame. And we use the library that we imported, that is the short form of it, pd dot. And then it has a function which is called as read csv, which basically tells us, hey, import this CSV and read everything inside the CSV. So what is the name of our CSV? Since the main.py is in the same folder structure, is in the same root directory of hack for the future.csv file, I'm going to do a dot slash and the name of the file, hack for the future.csv. And that's it. And then we can do two things. We can print what the df returned. So once we run it, since we are running it for the first time, it's going to install pandas for us. So let's wait, let's chat, whatever. Okay, so other than that, I think you know how to get to the cheat sheet. So this would be very helpful, especially once we maybe come towards some of the things. Yeah, some of the things from today's analysis. I think it's all here in the data set, in the cheat sheet, sorry, in the cheat sheet that we see. Yeah, so should be helpful. Let's see. Okay, we got the data. And as you can see, it has project name and then some dot, 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 because, yeah, there were too many things. There's built with, where we have the name, we have a backslash n, and then Canva backslash n itch.io. Okay, backslash n, I think it's to say that, okay, the next tag was in a new line. Okay, it's a limiter, delimiter. I'm not sure what the term is exactly, but yeah, it basically it's telling that auto draw and Canva are in one line, and then the next line, and then the next line. We can actually check the CSV for it. So as you can see, everything till here, project name, winner, project. Okay, this was our column name. We have the first name, which is the project name, winner, true or false. We had the link, and then auto draw, Canva, Edge, Pixlr, Unity, Unsplash. They were one below the other. So new line, new line, new line, new line, new line. That's why the backslash n character. What can we do? Normally, I think it would have been better if everything was comma separated, auto draw, comma, Canva, comma, h.io. But suppose this was the way you got the data set, you cannot go back and tell them, hey, please change the data set. So we are going to work with what we have, and maybe along the way, we'll find a way to convert these backslash n's to maybe comma. Okay, and why do we need it to do? We'll see. Like, I faced this challenge when I was preparing for uh, this stream, and I think you should know it too. If I had wanted, I could have gone and changed the way we downloaded the data, just change it right there before writing it to CSV file. But I think it's a good practice to know that data is not perfect. You need to work with what you have most of the times. So we printed hack for the future DF. Remember yesterday we had a way to see what's the type of it? So let's just check it out. Yeah, it is of type this big, but it's a data frame. Okay, so we have the data. Now, Pandas has a lot of things. Supposing, let's say you did not know what's inside this data set. And if you wanted to, let's see what are the top rows for it. So let's get to the cheat sheet and let me search, or let's together search for it. I wanted to see what are the top things. There is something called as dot head, which selects the first n rows. There is a dot tail, which selects the last n rows. So let's just try it out, what it gives. So we can do a print, and then copy this because I'm lazy. And then you can do a dot head with n, where n is the number. So let's do that. Let's do dot head, and let's say first three. I only want to see the first three. What it gives? Well, it will give us what's inside that data frame, what's inside the data, not the data frame. Yeah, data frame. Yeah. But yeah, this is what it gives. The first three are these: fly for the future, chatterbot, futurist. Okay. And let's move on. Let's say I wanted to see first five, you can just change it. But since I tried it yesterday, I know that there is just a dot head without anything, which still runs. So you're not telling it explicitly how many rows I want, and it returns you the first five. Okay. So if you don't explicitly specify how many rows I want in return, you can do just dot head, empty brackets, and it returns you the first five. Similar for the tail. So being the lazy person that I am, I think copying that took more time. Okay, so let's do a dot tail. I'm going to comment this. If you remember from yesterday, to comment it, you can do, if you are on Mac, do a command and forward slash. If you're on Windows, do a control and forward slash. If you're confused, just put a hash towards the beginning, and that's it. Okay, let's run this. Okay, it returns the last five, right? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. So it returns the last five projects in our list, in our data. Cool. I think this is good. Now, what else? What else do we want to see? Let's say I want to see uh, what are the columns in my data set. Now, I know we created this data set, so we should, of course, know what are the columns in the data set. But we are working on an assumption here that someone gave us this data set. So is there a way to see columns? uh, let's do a command F, and okay, there's pivot columns, but I don't. Columns rename, reset index, and columns data frame, rename columns. Okay. Sometimes it seems like the cheat sheets are not very helpful. Let's say I want to do a dot columns. Okay, there's nothing as dot columns, like nothing in the cheat sheet which tells us what's in, like how do you get just the names of the columns. But hey, that's where the Google comes in. So we can do a quick search for pandas get column names. Oh, someone has searched it for us. So you can just do a dot columns. Interesting. Let's try that out. So we can do a print and and then do a dot and columns. Okay. Will it work? Will it not? Let's see. And we have it. We have the names of the columns, and its data type is object, and there are one, two, three, four columns: project name, winner, project link, built with. Simple, right? I know we are doing some simple things right here, but also because we know what's in the data set, so it might sound like, oh, this is so slow, this is so repetitive. But hey, think about it from the perspective like you don't know the data set. Okay, or maybe you don't remember. You had created it, let's say, a long time ago, ages ago. Okay, what else? So there is one interesting thing that I found. Let's see if it's in the cheat sheet. Info. Okay, there's nothing as info here. Interesting. Maybe the cheat sheet doesn't want us to have that info, but you can also do something like print and whatever your data frame is dot info, and let's run it. So see, this is what it returns. It tells us that there are 27 entries. Okay, so there are 27 things in our uh, data frame. We have column name as project name, which has 27 non-null values, so nothing null. We have a winner column, we have a project link column, we have a built with column. Everything has 27 non-null entries inside it. Okay, it also tells us that there is one column which has boolean type, which is also written here. So winner, it has 27 non-null values, and its data type is boolean. Everything else is an object. Interestingly, why is it an object? Why is it not string? Maybe it should be a string, right? Search for it, find it out. Why does it return the data type as object as opposed to, hey, it's a string value? Okay, the boolean, that's completely perfect, it's true or false, so we know it's a boolean. But why are others object? There's a question, why did we get only two columns when printing the df? I think we got four. So let me just rerun this one. Yeah, we got four. So project name, winner, project link, built with. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, I know, so slow, repetitive. but let's work with it. Now, what if we saw the info, okay? We saw the info, but assuming uh, that we want to know explicitly what are the number of values in a particular column. Now, info gives that to us, and also because we only have four columns, it's okay. But if we have more columns and more number of rows, then what do we do? Or let's say I only want to know the data of one particular column. Now, there's one way to do it. Like, actually, there are multiple, of course. One way to do it is you take the data frame, okay? And remember yesterday I was telling you that please, uh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Why did we get only two columns when printing the DF? In the DF, why did we get only two columns? So which one? Line number 5, 6, 8, or 9? Like, if you can point that out, maybe I can have a look. Or like printing the DF, like print hack for the future DF. 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Okay. Let's check 5 first. Uh, Also, let me just comment some things out. Interesting. So you're saying that we only got project name and built with. Where are the between, like where are the columns in between? That's a very good observation. And that's because pandas, it looks at the data and it's just confused. How many rows do you want? So it just squashes it, squishes it, whatever you want to say, and it talks about the start, talks about the end. Anything in between just goes into dot dot dot. But there is a way to overcome this. Okay, you can explicitly tell pandas that, hey, don't squash my data. I want to see just everything. And it also does it because of our terminal. Okay, it assumes that our terminal is not big enough to see everything, so it just uses its own brains here in a way and says, okay, you wanted to see what are the top columns. Okay, let me just give you some names and just do a dot 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 in between to tell it that, okay, there are some things in between which I've squashed for now, but if you want to see it, you can explicitly tell me that you want to see it. Okay, and we are going to find a way to tell it explicitly that I want to see everything in between. Don't squash my data. And maybe, okay, just maybe, let's say your things are squashed. Maybe that's why you would definitely want to look what are the columns. Okay, it does tell you that there are four columns returned, but shows only two. So what? Let's say I want to know. Okay, if there are four columns, you're showing me only two. Tell me what are the other two columns. That's where this command would come in help. But yeah, we can't explicitly tell it to show everything. We'll talk about it as we move on. Okay, so I'm so sorry about this again. Okay, so print hack for the future DF. Yesterday I was telling you that please give the names of columns without any spaces in between. And I'm going to show you what happens when you, let's say, have like when you don't have spaces and when you have spaces. When you don't have spaces, you can work with the data frame by telling by appending to it using the dot functionality. So you can say like dot, and I want to know what's in the column of built with. Okay, you can treat it like a function up on the data frame. So built with, what am I writing? Built with, ah, yeah, you can basically treat it like a function. You can treat a column like a function and use the dot notation to reach to that point. Like, I want to know what is the count of like values in built with column. So I take the data frame, I use the dot notation to call that column, and then I use the count method to actually return me the count. Okay, so let's run this and let's see. 27. So this is one way. If you don't have any spaces in the names of your column and explicitly you have underscores, you can use a dot column name and dot something else. But let's say if you have spaces, then there's another way. You can do a square bracket around it. Okay, and your column name becomes a string, and using this type of notation, you can run this again and you'll still get the same result, of course. But yeah, you get the idea. So let's say if your column names don't have spaces, you can use the dot notation to take the data frame, dot column name, dot something else. But if it has spaces, let's say instead of built underscore with, it was built space with, then your dot notation wouldn't work, of course. Okay, because it would go like, okay, have for the future dot build, and what is this space? What are you doing here? So that is why uh, it is my kind of suggestion that try to avoid spaces as much as you can. Okay, so this was one other thing, that how you do you can explicitly target something, some column, and then do some analysis on it. You can find the count, you can find some more things definitely. Okay, yeah, if it was a numerical column, then you can do a sum on it. Again, a numerical column, you can do find a median, you can do quantile, you can find the minimum in each column, you can find the maximum in each column, you can find the mean, you can find the variance, you can find standard deviation, so many things. But the problem or the caveat here is that it needs to be numerical. Okay, there is an answer in the chat. Is string returned as object cause it's not a primitive data type? Maybe, maybe. Again, Google would be your best friend here to help you. But yeah, that could be one of the things. I would say yes, that's possible. But just Google the everything out of it. Okay, moving on. Now, I want to, let's say, see what are the values. Okay, what are the values of the built with column? Okay, so let's do a print. And since I was like smart enough yesterday to use no spaces, okay, this is underscore. Yeah, then I can do dot build with and dot values. What why are we seeing all this? Well, we are looking at the way to see the data, to actually understand what's in the data, where the assumption is that we don't know what's in the data. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can get all the values inside a particular column. Now you can do any column that you want and you can get the values. Remember, there's this backslash n that we have been seeing. Why is that a problem? How do we solve it? We'll get to it. Okay. Now, coming to the fun part, I'm going to, like, the idea here is that I want to see from this, like, this list or whatever data type it is. You know how to find the data type of everything. Okay, so whatever the data type of this is, I want to know for sure that what is very popular here, what has more frequency, if I can say, which terms have more frequency. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called as word cloud. Okay, what is a word cloud? uh, I assume you might be knowing about it, but if you don't, that's fine. Okay, uh, we'll actually have a look at it. So I'm going to actually take this whole thing that I wrote inside print, and I'm going to assign it to a variable. I'm going to call it like built with column, which has all the values. So all my values go in this variable. Okay, now we are going to use word cloud. Now word cloud, I'm going to tell you how to import it. Very simple. You have to do from word cloud import word cloud. Okay, as simple as that. But along with importing the word cloud, we also want to plot it. Okay, now one good library to plot anything in Python is matplotlib. So we are going to import that too. So we are going to say import matplotlib, and from that we are explicitly calling for the Python plotting. So pyplot uh, as plt, where as basically mean, oh not, yeah, as, yeah, you know what as helps us. I don't think I can see your screen. Okay, that is interesting. Is this a problem with everyone here? Okay, works now. Works now. Okay. Yeah. Remember, if you have been in my stream, this is a problem that happens with me every time. Okay. I don't know. My internet decides that, okay, this is the best time to refresh. But okay, coming back. So we are importing word cloud, and word cloud allows us to build word cloud. What does it mean? What's this word cloud? We are going to see it to understand it. And secondly, to plot it, we are using a matplotlib library. And, and here we are renaming it as plt to save my 300 milliseconds. uh, so yeah, coming to the plotting part. So the way it is going to work, uh, we are going to first take a variable. Let's call it my word cloud. Okay, and that is nothing but word cloud, and then dot generate, and then whatever variable that we took here. So this variable here, and then to print this. Okay, to print this out, what are we going to do? We are going to use the plotting library, that is this matplotlib, matplotlib.pyplot, which we are calling as plt. So we are going to say plt dot, there is a function or a method in it, that is im show, that is image show, where we are giving it that my word cloud, the variable which generated the word cloud for us, and we can give it something called as interpolation. Now this is interesting. It actually took me some time to understand what is interpolation, but in the simplest of terms, interpolation basically means to make the image smooth. Okay, so you can define it how you can make the image smooth, like in what way you want to make the image smooth. So, and the value for this would be interpolation equals to bilinear. And there's a very nice Wikipedia article on it, as interpolation bilinear, what it looks like. So maybe you could just copy this and just Google that. You have it there. Yeah, but yep, I spent quite some time to understand why are we giving this interpolation bilinear? What does it exactly mean? And then when I actually understood it, it was just as simple as just make the image more smooth. I'm like, makes sense. Then you are going to tell it that there's no access to our chart because it's not like x versus y or something. So we can keep the axis as off, and to show the plot, we have a very nice function with a very understanding name, plt.show. Okay. So what did we do? Again, to repeat it, we took our data frame and we took the column, which column we want to print the word cloud for, and we took all the values from there. Then we came down and we created a variable, my word cloud, which basically takes in word cloud and a dot generate function. And what do you want to generate? You want to generate the word cloud of which variable built with call. And then here it is to plot it. You're using image show, pass in the variable of what you want to show. Interpolation bilinear, it smoothens the image. No access and plot.show. Now, after this point, at least yesterday, I found the problem that it just becomes slow. Okay, it just becomes slow a bit, and maybe you'll find lots of loading and buffering, but just hang on. Let's run this. And it's going to install, of course, the libraries that we imported. So let's wait for it. Let me have some water. Yeah, I think we have so much time that we could actually play some like lofi beats in the background, and we'll have some time still left. Okay, I think it's done, and we have an error. It's saying that it's cannot use a string pattern on a bytes like object. What does that even mean? So remember, I told you if you want to see what's the type of any variable, just print that out. So print type and the built with call. And just to reduce the loading time, I'm going to comment everything and we'll just have this much for now. And let's see what happens. Its class is numpy, which we have not even imported, but yeah, it is there. And it's a array. It's not a string. And apparently, my word cloud, like word cloud, actually needs a string to generate everything. The best way out here is convert it to a string. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very difficult, might take some time to understand. Just hold on. So we are going to cut this from here and we are going to say str. Yeah, I'm funny that way sometimes. So you just need to convert it, type converted, where you say that, okay, anything inside this converted to str. Okay, converted to a string. And that should solve it, hopefully. Let's see. Waiting, waiting, waiting. And oh, oops. There we have it. We have the output. We have the output we want. This is what a word cloud actually means. It goes in and it takes everything and it just finds what has more frequency, and that is printed out bigger. Anything that has less frequency, it's printed out smaller. And apparently, N has the most number of frequency. N React, N JavaScript, N OpenAI, N Wix, N Twilio. Yeah, we need to remove that N. That N needs to go. Uh, so how do we do that? How do we do like remove that backslash N? Interesting. Okay. Now, how I did it, and this was thanks to like some parts of it was thanks to Stack Overflow. So thank you so much, Stack Overflow. Okay. I'm going to show you what uh, built with column looks before we change the type, and what it looks after we change the type. So I'm going to take this variable and I'm going to say built with column before, and now let's come to the part where we actually convert it from that numpy nd array. Also one last thing before we move to that. If you see, this has not stopped, it's still building. So to do that, like to stop it, you have to actually press on it, okay, so that it stops showing the output on the right hand side and your Chrome tab still works towards the end of it. Otherwise you will get the error which says, uh-oh, this page has stopped responding, kill it now. Okay, so this is our built with column before, and let's do what I was supposed to do here. I'm going to say that, sorry. So again, thanks to Stack Overflow, I found a solution which was like very good. Otherwise I was taking a long way out there. So you first take the data frame that you want, and in that data frame you tell it that in this data frame, please set the index, okay, or basically set a column which does not change. Sorry. So I'm not going to change the data type of the column project name, so I can keep it as project name, and I'm going to say append equals to true. Okay. And after this, I'm going to just keep some space here. So here we are basically saying that take the data frame and set the index to a column which is not going to change. Okay. Then in that, take my column which I kind of want to change. Okay, there's some error here. Uh, okay, it's just slow. Remember, I told you it's going to be slow, and this is how you see it. So now we can do like dot build underscore with, because we want to just say that in this data frame, I want to change the built with column. You can do it either with a dot notation or with the double inverted comma. So I'm going to use double inverted comma, let's say. So take the built with column of this and do a conversion here, convert it to string, and then you remember there was like this backslash n. Actually, I'll do one thing. I am going to comment out everything and show you what exactly we are getting into. Yeah. Uh, so this is built with column before, and there was this backslash n here. So I'm telling it that take that, like convert the first, convert the column to string, okay, and now split the values inside it on a backslash n. So wherever it finds backslash n, split it there. Then do something called as dot explode, and I'm going to uh, encourage you to look into it and finally convert it back to data frame. Okay, so now everywhere wherever you have backslash n, that's going to change to comma. Oops, sorry. So sorry about that. Okay, now let's print. Like, now we can take this whole thing once again and then just print it out. And this is after. And yeah, the variable names, I'm keeping it the same for now. So you can see before, you can see the change that we are doing. There is this very nice button of format the main code. So you can run that, and it basically takes in something. It takes the column that you want to change the values of, convert it to a string, split it on whatever you want. Let's say if there was no backslash n, there would have been, let's say, a pipe symbol or a forward slash or some other character. There's an ampersand, anything. Just tell it that I want to split on a particular character, explode, basically break it down, add commas to it, and then convert it back to data frame. And now we are doing the same thing again, and let's see the difference. Remember, we had backslash n here. Just keep that in mind. Yep. So this is built with call before. I was scared there for a second. I'm like, huh? This did not work. So built with call before, which had backslash n, and this is built with call after, no backslash n's, and this space here. But yeah, everything is separated. Okay, now I'm going to just run this again. And for the sake of not double printing or anything, I'm going to just comment it and also comment this. Okay, now let's run this. I think it should be better now, hopefully. And there you have it. There you have it. So there's a question, how does it show as a picture? So these three lines, they do the magic. So you do a plt, which is matplotlib dot im show, which says image show. What do you want to show? Interpolation by linear. Just remember it, I would say. Then there's no axis because there's no x-axis, no y-axis, or not a plot between two axes. It's just like everything. And plt.show shows it out on the right hand side. So yeah, uh, there we have it. Now JavaScript, it seems like that's the most popular one. React, it seems it's as popular. Cannot place it, especially with this word cloud. So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to also print out the frequencies, like how many times does each of these terms repeat, okay, in my whole data set. So how many times JavaScript repeats, how many times React repeats. And I think that would tell us the clear winner. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that would tell us the clear winner, what is popular among hackers. Okay. So yesterday, when not yesterday, day before yesterday, when I was actually trying this, and I was like, okay, I want to count it. I was doing some like big number of things. Okay, I was doing so much that okay, maybe I can try this. I can do a count. I can do a for loop. I can do this and that, and then okay, I came across something, value counts. I should have seen the cheat sheet before, but I came across something called as value counts, which counts the number of rows with each unique value of a variable, and that just solves it. Okay, so I was going for the hard way out there, and this was just easy. So I'm going to run this and I'm going to show it to you how you can do a count and find the clear winner. So let's say I call it frequency of tags, okay, where we are taking in the data frame. It says it out loud. Take the data frame, give it the column name, and do a value counts on it. So we take the data frame, We can do, which column do we want to count? We want to count the build underscore width, and then just do a dot value underscore counts, and we can then print this. So print frequency of tags. Okay. Also, I had not stopped it, so I'm going to stop it. And yeah, the Chrome did not die. So now let's run it again. I should have commented out the plot, but that's okay, I think. Uh, okay, that's not okay because it's stuck on this part. It's still showing it. So until and unless you actually end this plot, it's not going to move ahead. One way to do it is actually like in Matplotlib, you have a way to end the show. Again, I would implore that just search for it. I think that would be one way to learn about it. But you saw the problem that happens, that it tries to just wait for some command, press some key or something. I'm giving you hints here. Press some key where it ends showing the plot, and then it goes and runs the other paths. I think that should be like enough hints to actually find what exactly we're looking for. And we have frequency of tags, and JavaScript is a clear winner out here. So 11 project, like not 11 projects, but the word JavaScript, it has been used 11 times in all Hack for the Future. So all the projects have you, like most of the projects, sorry, have used the term JavaScript, have used the tag JavaScript. So it's clearly very popular. The second most popular is React and HTML. They're like, there's a tie in between them. Scratch is just out there. It's like at seven. There are seven, that X number of projects which are using Scratch. I'm guessing seven number of projects because, as far as I remember, in dev post you can use one particular tag only once. So maybe there are 11 projects that use JavaScript. There are eight projects which use React, eight projects which use HTML, seven projects use Scratch, and so on and so forth. That's how you can read this data. Now, what time is it? Okay, we actually can take a break, but I think the next part is going to be so easy, so simple that we could do it before taking a break, and maybe yeah, then we can do a discussion. Yep. So the next part is to merge multiple data sets, merge multiple data frames. Now, there are multiple ways to do it, of course. Uh, there are ways where if you don't have same columns, like, columns which are different, like the column names are different or completely different, merging them is in a different manner. You can merge them together in a different way. But since we know for sure that in our data sets, the column names are exactly the same, we are going to do the easiest possible thing here. So let's call this new data frame that we take as AI hacks df, and we are going to do pd dot read underscore csv, and inside it we are going to say dot slash. Okay, this is a little bit slow. So actually know what's the name of the file so I can write it out. CSV, and let's take a bit of time, otherwise yeah, it's going to be an issue once I run it. So yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, cool, no problem. Let's move ahead. It will catch up. So here on the line number 5, we had basically taken in uh, the data of like we had read the CSV for Hack for the Future. On line number 6, we read the CSV for AI hacks, and on line number 8 right now, I'm going to create a merge df. Okay, and since I know that the columns are same, How do you know that? You can run this one, like line number 14. You can run it for hack for the future. You can run it for AI hacks df, and then see the columns. And if they are exactly same, then you know that okay, I have same columns. And to merge that, there is one very simple way, and that basically says pd, that is pandas dot concat. Okay, and it takes in kind of a list format, and you give it what all you want to merge. I want to merge hack for the future and AI hacks together. Okay, so this is our merged data frame, and all we had to do was use pd.concat. And since the columns are exactly the same, column names are exactly the same, there are no extra columns or no like less columns or something. That's why we were able to do this. So yeah, this is what we changed on line number 8. Now here on line number 23, where we were only taking taking the hack for the future data frame and removing the backslash n. Now we need to take the merged df and change that. So change it here, change it here. Built with call, now it would be like merged df. So now we have merged df everywhere, and this also changes. Okay, so everywhere where we are only working with hack for the future data frame, now we are working for working with merged data frame. Now I'm going to just comment this because we know that we haven't written the code to uh, what do you call, press a character and escape the uh, output. But again, I would implore that please find it. You'd enjoy it. So everything else I think should remain the same, and let's run it. Don't worry, we'll be like done soon, so we'll have a long break. And there we have it. We have React, we have HTML, Firebase, Python, CSS3, JavaScript somewhere here. Interesting. I like the way it looks. HTML has some single inverted commas around it. Maybe you can find out how you can clean it. Yep. Uh, yeah, find out where it is coming from. Find out a way to clean it. Mostly the cleaning would be something similar to this. Again, I would implore. You see the issue, you know how to solve one of them, then you know how to solve every one of them. Okay. So yeah, you can see some popularity here. Now I'm going to just stop this and let's see who's the clear winner out here. So I'm going to just comment this part out and uncomment these two lines, line number 35 and 36. And let's run that and see who's the clear winner. Hmm. So JavaScript, it seems like it's a clear winner out here. It's like 15, Python is 14, React is 13. Okay. And then we face the same issue. So there are actually 105 columns or 105 tags here, but we only see a couple of them. So we are back to what Uptark, I think, had. Yeah, Uptark had raised an issue. Where are the columns in between? Where are the rows in between? Why is it just half of them? We'll solve it now. Okay, so okay, I saw a reconnecting here, so just let me know, is my screen still visible? Yes, no, please, someone quickly, because I saw a reconnecting, so I'm just confused. Okay, perfect, cool. Yes, AI hacks had a lot more Python projects, definitely. But yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. So now let's solve that particular issue, that very annoying issue. Where are the columns in between? So this requires you to actually set something for pandas. So we are going to write something. We are going to say in pandas, set option, pd.set option, and that has an attribute of display dot max underscore rows. And it takes in a like it has taken a value actually. It basically thinks that okay, max rows I want to show is only 5. We are going to say no, don't take any value, don't take the value for display max rows, just show me everything. And now I'm going to run it again, and we have everything. So yeah, I think we have solution for at least one of the questions raised, definitely, of how do we see everything. You just tell it that display max rows none. Do you think for the columns it should be display dot max underscore columns? Maybe, maybe not. Have a look at it. I think that's the best way to learn. You find the problem, you search for the solution. That's how I did it. That's how I did this particular project, definitely. Some of the places I was just going into a bad coding scenario and I had a problem. How do I, let's say, count the frequency? And I found the solution dot value underscore counts solves it. Okay, so yeah, that basically solves like the problem of missing number of rows here. Everything is out here. And htm, interesting, why is there htm here? Okay, anything else that's missing? Maybe have a look. uh there's html, so I don't think htm means anything there. Maybe someone had mistyped it. There's html5. So HTML5, HTML, they should be added together, right? So that we know that this is the number of HTML, like HTML projects or the projects that use HTML. Other thing is CSS. So CSS3 people are just using different variations. Uh, so kind of we are skewing our data here. We don't have a very clear output. So this is something that you can explore. Yeah, so I'm basically setting up the table of what you can raise in the PR that you're in, that you might be interested in. Send in a pull request where you talk about the problem and you show the solution. I have given you like few problems here. HTML, HTML5 should be combined together and then the frequency should be there. Other problem was with respect to, let's say, not a problem, but more like get in more data and do like show the answers. There was a problem with plot.show. There was a inverted comma, single inverted comma coming in. We were not sure where it's coming from. How do we remove it? Solve that issue. All those things. Uh, I think I can show one final thing which I was exploring. You can actually set some things right here in your word cloud. You can give it some options. So you can, let's say, tell it that okay, I want the width of the final output as, let's say, something like this. I want the height as this. Okay, something like that. height equals to ah, sometimes I'm so bad with spellings. Okay, and at the same time, now since I know this is not going to run, so let's just comment it out. uh yeah, formatting, it's going to take a lot of time, so we can wait for it. uh yeah, this should be good. And I know I'm going to show the plot, and finally, oh, it finally formatted it successfully. But something happened right here. Where did some of the parts go? Oops. Yeah, cool. Yeah, So that's it. Oh, we also had another problem of which I just remembered and I just forgot. Hmm. Okay, if I remember it again, I'll let you know. But we had one other question which I kind of implored that you can search for the answer to it. Oh yeah, the escape. Yeah, the escape button. How you can click on some button and just allow it to. Yep, this is how it looks. You can actually set the row width and height. Maybe it's not exactly visible with a rectangle, but let's say if I do a square here, width 800, height 800, I think that would be more understandable and visible. So let's run it again. Yeah. So yeah, I was sure that it works. I was not sure if it's visible to you all, but now it is. Now you know, yeah, height and width works. You can also set font size, you can set the background color, and all those things are possible. Okay, you can check the documentation for it. But yeah, we kind of are done with the analysis here. We now know that in like the last two hackathons that I took data of, not the last two, but two hackathons that I took the data of, what was the popular tags, what was the most popular uh, tools or technologies that hackers were using, and you can do this for many others. An interesting thing would be, remember in our data set we had a winners column, okay, which was just true or false depending on if a project is a winner or not. Maybe, okay, again this is a suggestion, I would love to see a PR for this. Maybe you can only take in, like, take let's say 5 or 6 data sets, make a different data set which only has the winners in it, and then see what are the popular tools in the projects that won. Okay, but it is just for analysis. No way we are saying that we skew the data or something, or some we like it or don't like it or whatever. Just an analysis. Okay, a random analysis, and for a random project that just came to my mind. But yeah, that is it. Now, any questions? I know I took a long time without any break, but I think we're good. We'll have a very long break. Any questions, anything? Hopefully, you all liked it. Yesterday's session, today's session, I hope it was informative. Okay. Uh, because that's what I'm here for. Just spread some knowledge, spread some information, not add question marks here. Perfect. Thank you so much actually for joining. Uh, I'm going to put it on GitHub. I'm going to share the link on Discord. Or if you want to just stay around, let me just, just let me at least create the repository so that you know where you can find the code later. So let me just quickly create the repository. Uh, oh, a repository exists. Interesting. Maybe I'll put it in this repo only. This is where I'm going to put it. Okay, this in this repo, I'm going to put the code. It's not there yet, but it's going to be there, and you can then send a pull request with all the ideas that we talked about to this repo. Okay. Yep. We talked about a lot of things. If you want to stick around, any what are the other analysis that we could do with the data that we have collected and the data that we have not collected? uh, we went on to find the project title. Of course, we had the project links, we had winner or not, we had the built with tags. What else? Okay, so the link to the repo is highlighted. Do you want the link to the REPL? If you do, I can share that probably. uh, the repo will, okay, forget, okay, cool, give me a second here. Once again, the code is not yet there, but it would be there soon, and I would love to see PRs on that. Do some more analysis, use some more data, solve some of the issues that we found together today, uh, and yeah, just refine it so that the next person who comes in, they are just amazed at this project and they can use it to do something else. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Any other questions, anyone? If not, I think we are good to go. You're welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you for sticking around. Thank you for helping others. And thank you just for everything. And once again, I'm so sorry I'm not like my best of health today, or even I was yesterday. But hopefully you enjoyed it. See you all. Bye bye.